Welcome to the SmackDown review. I'm Adam Wilbourn from WhatCulture, joined by Dollywood, Michael Hamflett from WhatCulture, here to review everything happened on this week's episode of Friday Night SmackDown. But before we get into it, if you're a fan of this sort of thing, make sure you subscribe to WhatCulture Wrestling on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon Music, and YouTube, where we do daily wrestling podcasts where we not review SmackDown, the show formerly known as NXT 2.0, AEW Dynamite, AEW Collision, pay-per-views, premium live events. We have interviews, roundtable discussions, and a roundup of the week, complete with a very good quiz, of course, on WrestleCulture. As I said, though, joined by Michael Hamflett to review this week's episode of Friday Night SmackDown. And I think it's fair to say this was a noteworthy episode of SmackDown Online.
Speaking of cinema, am I Woody from Toy Story? Because you just pull the string on my back and I'll keep saying the same thing every week. SmackDown was good again.
That's not what people online seem to say.
I don't care for this opinion that you told me literally seconds before we hit record, because I didn't know this. I had a weekend. Well, I guess in its own way, every weekend is now kind of a weekend away from the discourse as I attempt to try and stay off social media. Muscle memory hits that X every goddamn day. But yeah, I watched SmackDown amidst, like, out of my usual routine, out of step, amidst a kind of family birthday weekend in which, in every respect, I was off the grid of all the things I would typically love of a weekend.
Yes.
So just watched SmackDown and then came to work to talk about it, such is my privileged life. And then you mentioned this just before we hit record, that people were going mad about it. Like, oh, hey, like, I feel like at the moment, and it's snuck up on me, I'll admit that, Perth was the week. There was this, PR bollocks that, like, right, we're sorry, like, this is the real quiz, SmackDown stars from now. And then you had the Spidey Goo-Doo, and just Perth in general. Really good vibe around the time in Perth. But that had a couple of big events take place, and then it was like, right, but you can do that every now and then. That's sort of the point with wrestling. You can flip a few characters. You can just drop this big storyline development. You can do it every week if you want, but it's sort of a cheat code if you haven't really been doing it for a while. And what does it really reveal about the creative process? Because that's always the stuff that needs to change. It's always never just do a panic booked thing. You've actually got to, like, go back and assess things foundationally. I would argue, and it's funny that it's easy to keep count with because it's 5, because we know that Man United hit 3, and then this poor guy couldn't cut his hair. But so we're up to 5. I would consider, like, that's 5 bad SmackDowns with the power to rock you. Like,
5 good SmackDowns
with the power to rock you. Yeah. So obsessed with getting the 5 lyric right. I got the actual point wrong. It's just a little world that I'm really enjoying visiting. And I think that's what I always want from a wrestling show. I
thought this. So I watched SmackDown on Saturday night, I think it was. And like you said, I had a fine time watching this show. And foolishly thought, let's see what the consensus is online about this. And I was just like, oh, I guess I'm wrong then. That I had a fun time watching this show. That people were like, I think it was a combination of factors. I think there's the sort of overall mood amongst wrestling fans about wrestling generally right now is, I think, the lowest it's been since AEW came along, because it's like you had one or the other, and now it feels like
it's been a bit of an off year for both.
Yeah. And you combine this SmackDown, which, you know, if you didn't like some of the tropes that they used, I get it, with that number that they did, which was slightly, I think, overanalyzed, considering it was the SmackDown on Halloween, you know, up against some baseball game or something, I think.
It was the Blue Jays and the Dodgers World Series final.
And don't get me wrong, like, attendances are down, but then there was the other thing where there was someone like saying, look at the attendance they did here compared to this one, for example. And I did think, right, it's down unquestionably across the board, but it was slightly disingenuous because it was like, you know, a November SmackDown, nowhere even near Survivor Series yet. We've still got, 3 weeks of SmackDowns left, compared to Road to WrestleMania, SmackDown, like 3 or 4 weeks out from the big show, where everything's all coming together, and you've got Punk and you've got Roman and you've got all that stuff going on there. And I was like, right. Then this show happened, and I'm not joking because I have to sort of fill you in on what's been going on online. Some people were like writing the sort of obituary of SmackDown off the back of this show, saying that it was like one of the worst shows ever. Like, people were saying, people badmouth 2019 WWE, but at least it's not this.
What?
And I was like, I get that you and I are kind of, happy-go-lucky scamps.
We have fun covering this show.
Yeah, and we enjoy it. And skew
We
more
did not have fun covering the show in 2019.
Skew more positive.
Roman Reigns feud with Baron Corbin, primarily over Baron Corbin bringing out somebody in a dog costume.
Yeah, for about 3 months.
For about 3 months. He pinned him.
Yeah. And I just thought, bit of a reaction, this, isn't it?
I mean, you know.
I get it. It's Road Dogg's fault, obviously.
Of course. Like, it's, you know, it's understandable that people, we know the game that we're in. We know that, like, social media and online responses in general have skewed towards extremes. Mm-hmm. And I think that's something I'm trying to assess in my own coverage in this job, because 2025 has been a bit of a down year, and I'm trying to decide, well, right, bigger picture. Bigger picture before we get into SmackDown a little bit, and then we can rush through some of the SmackDown stuff, because some of it was rushed through itself. Mm-hmm. The boom has come to an end creatively in 2025.
The boom is off the roads.
I love that so much, because it is going to tie perfectly to a big sweeping generalization I want to make about Cody Rhodes in this review. The boom has come off the roads. Every day you find a different way to earn your keep, Wilbourn, let me tell you. The boom is off the roads. Love that. That's going to be the summary line to my WWE Ups and Downs article, coming soon to WhatCulture.com. Thank you. Stealing it. I mean, Adam Wilbourn's summary lines have been the subject of half of our coverage this week, so you've just added another one. The boom is off the roads. That's so good. I'm not even going to give you credit for it. Like, those that will have watched
just
will know.
A little, what's it called when they do like a little thing in brackets of like credit to?
Yeah, I'll put an asterisk, but it's going to be like in a list entry, like entry number 7. And Adam Wilbourn come up with that. What does he mean? Yeah, the boom is off the roads, and I personally quite like these diminished numbers. You got me on the Raw one today because it's seen as last ever show in Boston, but proudly looking at the graphs, the numbers are down, and I like that, because I do think the product is diminished, and I do think the prices are out of control.
Yeah,
and I think the best way for audiences to reflect those things are to not go.
Absolutely.
So I love that. I do. I don't want smaller houses. I want to stay in the era of milk and honey and hot crowds. But I do like that. Like, what it turns out, one of the old metrics can still serve a purpose.
Yes.
In this era of TV rights dominating the day, you can lose 4,000 people from a building because you priced them out of it and they're not that drawn. Because when the price...
And they can still say, well, we still made more money, because rather than charging, I don't know, $50, we're charging $200, which means, of course we can lose.
Yeah, great gate. Well done. You know, like, I like anything that ultimately results in maybe the prices not being so insane and or the product being better. And I noticed sort of with interest that the prices didn't just turn out of control yesterday. They were out of control when WWE was still doing these 10,000 plus houses. Mm-hmm. So what that means is, back then, the fans were, if not happy to pay, were acceptant to pay because they wanted to go to the hot product.
Exactly.
That has now changed. And I think that's the most telling thing of all. And good, because that's how fans should vote, ultimately, with their wallets and with their emotional and financial investment. Brilliant. All that's to say, I just think that SmackDown, like, this overreaction doesn't surprise me, but only because social media is sort of wired that way. Online response is wired that way. I think looking for the 2019 comparison is the most extreme way to make a point.
Exactly, yeah.
And I like...
even like Sean Rossett was like, come on, guys.
Yeah, exactly.
You might not have liked this show, but
come on, guys. Yeah. Insane. Like, you would not watch a 2019 SmackDown and then be given a time machine and shown this and then think, do you know what? I think I'll stay in 2019, actually. I think I'm enjoying this timeline more. Like, yeah, Cody Rhodes is the WWE champion, and that feels, here I am in 2019, a 2019 resident. Cody Rhodes being WWE champion feels like quite the development. But you know what? I'll go back to my timeline because I really want to see if Roman has to eat dog food or not. Like, I really do want, I really want to know what happened here in 2019 after The Fiend scared Seth Rollins. So I'll pass on. Excuse me, what's this? A thriving women's tag division. Like I think the like for like isn't even close, quite honestly, between the two. SmackDown in 2019 had precisely one thing that I would change about in comparison to 2025, and it's the unbelievable Fox set that they binned when the pandemic started. Beyond that, you can keep it forever. You can keep it in a box that you never open. You can keep it in a lockbox that you set up a McMahon versus McMahon 2016 WrestleMania program about that then you don't revisit. That's how much I want to relive 2019 SmackDown. So I think they've used a ludicrous comparison to make a point. And I think there's nothing wrong, by the way, with critical evaluation of a product. We wouldn't be doing this without that. But I just have really grown a fondness for. I've been looking forward to talking about the show. I watched it on Sunday, so it's fresher than it would be normally. I've not normally had a couple of days to sort of ruminate on it. I watched it last night, and like when I got back from aforementioned family birthday in the West Midlands, normally a place I love, but held at a too posh for its own good social club that decided to have 4 TVs, none of them showing the that small concern known as the Premier League, when there was rugby union, not even the sort of working class good rugby, the grim Tory rugby, some England game. Who gives a shit, right?
I think it's the Autumn Internationals, yeah.
Exactly, yeah. I think I don't care either. Good point. Like 4 tellies and all of that on, and every time I kind of looked, well, I shouldn't even be in this bar. I should be in the function room where the party is that I was invited to. I was thinking, well, yeah, but I wonder if I can ask that. And then everywhere I looked, they were all in those like jeans and shoes and the polo shirts. I was like, oh, they're actually here to what? They've asked for it to be put on that telly. So I couldn't even say, do you mind can you change that one? Because then I would have taken a right ruddy rollicking off the Clarksons in the corner over there or whatever. So I just had to check text messages, and then I was at the bar when the Wi-Fi didn't work in the day. It was bad. It was a combination of awful things. No. So I was at the bar and I did a refresh, and then the screen just didn't do anything for a while. And I'm thinking 2-1, and then it's like 2-2. Like I was about to get served. I couldn't speak. Like my skin was on fire and I couldn't talk. And then like she was like, just move on to the next person. I was like, right. I was finally getting served, and then I opened my WhatsApps, and naturally, like there's about 7 of them. Jesus, because all of a sudden that's happened, and assuming that I'm watching, it's like, no, and all of you were watching, and I'm not. But
I watched it and you didn't.
Yeah. I'm happy for you though. Ultimately, I'm just happy for you. Sorry, that was a football tangent, but it's really great being a Sunderland fan at the moment. So.
Yeah, the thing I found as well about the sort of doom and gloom around
Newcastle United,
this was a bit. Is it the People's Front of Judea in Life of Brian, when they're like, what the Romans ever given of us? Yeah. Straight roads, apart from straight roads. It was a bit like that because it was like dreadful SmackDown. I mean, obviously another great Ilya Dragunov match. Yeah, I mean, and a really good promo from Jay Cargill. But apart from that,
I just thought this was fine.
I thought it was fine. Exactly.
I broadly like the world. I've got some criticisms which we'll get to. This is a review after all.
Hey, yeah.
But yeah, there's a bit more life and a bit more direction to it. I am favouring SmackDown over Raw right now. We've said this since 2019, the big wrestling war.
So we start the show with a big recap of Saturday night's main event, and Cody Rhodes controversially retaining the title, of course. After that, out comes WWE champ Cody to say, so, Greenville, South Carolina. What do you guys want to talk about?
That's what he said.
I was dribbled then.
So did he.
We talk about Saturday night's main event. Drew McIntyre introduce a weapon into this match. And he's like, you're a rowdy bunch tonight. Drew clearly doesn't understand that my reluctance to pull the trigger in the past has cost me dearly. But now there was no reluctance. There was no hesitation. Look, Drew is one of the most impressive, strongest men. When he walks into a room, everyone turns their head. But he's also the most, in his own way, self-sabotaging pro wrestling in this business. And unfortunately, Drew, I'm now moving on. I thought, phew, that's that done then. Drew's in the rearview mirror. Tonight, the most important title, the WWE Championship. I want to do something different. I want to come and sit out there with you guys and watch Friday Night SmackDown, and we can all decide who's next in line for the WWE Championship. Fans are loving this, of course. And then he's interrupted by Aleister Black and, wait a second, she's walking? Zelina, knows her name. She's lost it, careless. They come out, and Alistair says, well, Codies, if you're moving on, if you're moving out, then I'm moving in. Ever since I said Damien Priest on fire, I've been ready for something new. And it is the world title, I think. Big matches. I got a chip on my shoulder, about the size of the WWE Undisputed World title. Zelina says, it's too bad that your nightmare begins now. She slaps Cody, and out comes the SmackDown GM. Featured heavily on this show. I can't remember what his name is, though.
No, they should have put a little graphic on screen.
And he's like, whoa. Tension's running high. People can't keep their hands to themselves. So, Alistair Black, if you want to pick a fighter, fight Cody in the main event.
Yeah, mixed bag. Fundamentally, still, there is a problem within WWE that they are no longer planning or plotting enough that we seem to have at least one impromptu main event every week.
Mm-hmm.
Bad habits crept back in. It's bad. It's fundamentally bad. So I don't like that. And do you know what? But I will say this about WWE writ large. The fact that it still sticks out means that I must still be fighting for this title.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean? If I just become numb to it all over again, then it would have been the norm. I don't like that. I don't want to do previews where we kind of more have to just, chase our tails.
There was a lot of stuff booked for this show, wasn't there?
There was.
And nothing, but Cody was just, I don't know, he's going to come out and probably address what's happened.
And it popped the live crowd, and I've always tried to, not justify it, but I've tried to sort of explain why WWE like it, because it's one of the cheapest, easiest pops to get to be like, I'll buy, this main event that you were more than happy just to see cut a promo. Now you're going to see them wrestle as well. So I know why they do it. It's a holdover from the Attitude Era that then we're going to worry a little bit. But I would just like it to be kept for special occasions rather than becoming a weekly problem. But that aside, Aleister Black isn't really for me. And this rebrand with Zelina Vega, it was a fun novelty in the reveal. But I watched that, and I'm the type of fan that's like, right, that's where that act peaks. For me, I don't really take a huge interest in their vibe and their aesthetic, and I've never really been an Aleister Black guy, full stop. Malachi, Tommy, and they're just not one of my guys. Liked him for a minute in NXT, but that was about it. So he comes out, and I've seen him and Cody in AEW, and they did the shock finish one time in dailies, but otherwise they didn't pull up trees as a rivalry. If anything, it kind of was the beginning of the end of the Cody character.
Yes.
In AEW. So I wasn't thrilled with it. But zoom out, I did quite like Cody hiding the obvious with Drew by doing a kind of almost open call out, and Aleister Black out of nowhere accepting it. If there was such a hierarchy or a pecking order of rankings, Aleister Black would be nowhere near it. He lost 2 weeks ago. Was it against Ilya Dragunov?
Yeah.
So it's not like he's in the conversation, but
shenanigans with Priest, but still a
Cody
loss,
Rhodes has offered a golden ticket. That's how you sort of logically work around that. And I did what I really liked, going all the way, I've done this in reverse chronological order, I didn't mean to, was the best bit of all of this was Cody Rhodes getting probably the most important detail of all of this out the way first before he kind of hid the Drew McIntyre thing and then set up the Aleister Black match, which is the quite significant character development that he is now a guy that pulls the trigger. We've been saying it, but the character himself has now admitted it on camera.
Yeah.
We've observed it through the matches and through the development over certain segments and everything that kind of led to the suit fight and the aftermath of that. We've spotted it, as we've been encouraged to, by the booking from, the Randy Orton King of the Ring final onwards?
Yes. And
a lot of that was because he'd lost the title to John Cena in what turned out to be the most regretful moment of his WWE run thus far. And he said it outright. He put it there on Front Street that he is now a guy that will never hesitate to pull the trigger. He doesn't necessarily want to be handed the gun, and he certainly would never load it. But if the loaded gun is placed in his hand, he will pull the trigger. That is
I didn't bring the weapon into the match. You did, Drew.
That is a supreme character development for your top babyface to admit. I'm not suggesting that right now a Cody heel turn has begun, but I would love to sit here with you in 6 months and say, well, there it was.
Yes.
There was where he drew a new line of what he deems acceptable behavior, where your top babyface says for the first time, actually, I'm going to get in the muck. I did the best I could, staying out of it, but I'm going to get in the muck now. I think that's I really hope one day we look back on this as a real significant turning point because it felt in the moment like it was one. And then it's almost But anyway, on to business.
Mm-hmm.
It's all good. It's all good in Cody's world, but we enjoy delving a bit deeper, and that felt like the thing to take from that.
Yeah, exactly. It's not a long walk from I don't hesitate when these chances come my way to I'll kind of do whatever it takes to keep this belt on my shoulder.
Well, because every heel turn should be the heel believing that they're a little bit justified and all that kind of thing. And, if you're going to use Drew McIntyre as a relevant example, there would have been a time where Drew McIntyre thought one thing was cheating but not the other. And then gradually, and then the idea is that the character never admits that he would cheat to do this or cheat to do that. Cody Rhodes has said, I've cheated now. But he's dictated the terms of that. So it's not yet at the point where he's a cheat, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
It's I really enjoyed that little detail being brought out to the front rather than happening again and not mentioned.
Yeah.
Because I think, to jump forward a little bit, I sense they might be trying to next week do the Cody Rhodes trying to convince the SmackDown GM to let a certain someone back to work.
Yes.
That might be the story. Which allows then for Cody to kind of, again, go on his high horse and be like, look, the only reason you get any title shot is because I got you jab back. So when I cheat again, dickhead, you should have seen this one coming.
Following this, we see everyone arriving. Charlotte and Alexa, obviously. New women's champion Jade Cargill. And US champion Ilya Dragunov, who, before he walks out, goes face-to-face with a certain Tama Tonga of the MFTs.
Yeah.
So Dragunov comes out. Again, he says, tonight, my dear friends and enemies, pain shall entertain you. And as we called, out comes DIY. And Tommaso Ciampa says, look, I came out here last week to answer your open challenge. Not only did you deny me, you had the balls to call me a jackass. I'm a two-time NXT champion. You call me a jackass? I'm a two-time SmackDown Tag Team champion. Nobody calls me a jackass. Everyone in Greenville, South Carolina calls him a jackass, of course. And he says, look, ring the bell, basically. And Dragunov says, you know what? You are right. Listen to me, you're right. Look, I accept the challenge, because there's another jackass chant in all this. I accept the challenge for my United States Championship. From him!
It's Johnny Gargano. I'm scared, Tommaso. I don't want it. But Candice is
one of us needs a shot, absolutely. Ciampa's like, but before he leaves, he makes sure to distract Dragunov to allow his partner and friend to get the advantage early on. Another really hard-hitting Ilya Dragunov match. He comes back early on after Gargano tries for a super kick. More on that in a bit. A series of German suplexes. And he nails the back of Gargano's neck with some elbow strikes and hits the suplexes, take us to break. When we come back, there's a Constantine special by Dragunov. Gargano stunned in the corner. Big boot from Dragunov and a diving knee for a near fall. Gargano gets back to his feet using the ropes. There's a kick. There's a kick from Gargano as Dragunov dives from the top. And then a huge super kick that looked awesome.
Brilliant.
From Gargano, followed by a Poison Rana for a nice near fall. They go up top, but the US champion wakes up, hits him with chops and a headbutt, goes for a senton, but can't get the pinfall off the back of that. Gargano's still down. Dragunov wants the H-bomb, but he gets a kick to the face as he goes for it. Candice LeRae gets involved as he tries for a Constantine special. There's a tornado DDT to the outside by Gargano, and then one final beat. But Dragunov kicks out at 2. Gargano goes to the apron, but gets stopped out there, and he lifts him back in from the middle rope for a superplex to Johnny Gargano and an H-bomb. Gets the 1-2-3 for your United States champion. This was awesome.
The deadlift superplex as a setup move for the H-bomb is absolutely fantastic because the fans are left in almost disbelief at the feat of strength. And as a result, the superplex is like a big move, but normally the idea of superplex is it takes both people out. Here it serves as a bit of a knockout blow to leave Gargano prone. Anyone that is capable of cooperating on that amazing spot, that should be the finish.
Yep.
In a Dragunov match. Not everybody can do that, and he can't do that to everybody.
Yeah.
But when available, do that. Because it's hot as, it's so cool.
Yeah,
it's such a cool way to win. I'm the strongest man in the world, and I'm going to run and punch you in the face. It's so definitive and believable, and it's very Dragunov, and it's very intense, and all veins out of his face. Big Jordan Henderson growl. Jordan Pickford growl. I love it. Both legends. both from a wonderful city by the sea. The match, right? I'm doing what you started with here. I feel like what I'm about to say is designed to push back on those that would say, well, hang on, if this is on Dynamite, it'd be bored rigid, Hamflett. And to those I say, correct. But there's two reasons, and only one of them is my obvious biases. The other is because I like to think I've been consistent on, if there is a title that I am enjoying the work of, one of my absolute favourite things is a TV title defence. And I don't just mean the belt itself being defended on television. I mean, there is a way and a method to measure title matches on television versus on pay-per-view. Like, they may seem the same, but they're not. And not just because you have to work around things like ad breaks and slowdowns and speed ups and all that kind of stuff. There is a fundamental difference in that if it's happening on television, whether it's true or not, the opponent maybe doesn't quite have the belief from the audience they can win because of the implication. It's happened on television. What are you laughing at? It's happening on television through an open challenge or through, I'll take it on SmackDown. It might not necessarily have the weight of a long-term story or the PLE stage or the, all the other kind of the advantages that like, oh, you've been waiting X number of days or you, an audience member, have paid for this. A lot of the time this might come spontaneously. So yeah, the challenger has the challenge of the implication. And in the case of Sami Zayn and now Ilya Dragunov, this United States title in the second half of 2025 has been sort of a revelation in how it's sort of brought wrestling back to World Wrestling Entertainment. I don't need it all the time. I don't need it a lot of the time, quite honestly. But I like it a lot on SmackDown. SmackDown is guaranteeing me range. I am somebody that loves a particular act on SmackDown, mainly because I have a lot of fun with them. They give me the giggles. I quite like the mischief they get up to. They could not be further apart from the quality of the matches that Sami Zayn and Ilya Dragunov have given us as the United States champion. For a belt that means a lot in their hands, for a moment that means like, if Gargano wins this, well, I don't want him to win this. That's the point. Like, if Gargano wins this, I'm not going to get my Ilya match next week. Same as when Zayn was fighting heels.
Yes.
Well, they could do whatever they want with the US title. They're not sort of giving me this. This has become a thing that I now look forward to and relish. So somebody taking that away makes me feel shade. So when Gargano's even getting close with the near fall, as he did here, I don't want this.
Yes.
Come on, Ilya. Like, it's the proper rooting for the champion to retain, which is the magic of the TV title defense. That's the difference, because when you get to the PLE, the title change kind of adds, like, there's a spice to it.
Yes.
There's, somebody could win the belt here. These TV title matches have been as much about the champion retaining more than the person winning.
Yeah.
And that, to me, has been the magic. I'm not yet on the hook with this Ciampa thing, but I'm willing to already call it, like, noble, even if it fails. They're just
another ripper, though, aren't they?
Probably.
In a series of, like, I was just looking there as you were talking about the last bad US title match. Kind of a big show for it to be on.
SummerSlam. Yeah, Jacob and Solo, yeah.
Steel cage.
I was thinking, Tongalo took that really funny bump.
Yeah, it's not all bad.
Diving off the butt, yeah. Ciampa isn't... The thing that... What I admire is that they are trying to sell you a fight.
Yeah.
What I am concerned about is that fight going to live up to the billing of a multi-week sales pitch? Like, Ciampa's a guy that, in theory, you would just throw out there to lose to in a decent TV match. Whereas now they're starting to, like, try and foster a bit of anticipation. I'm not sure with all the fostering in the world they're going to get there, but I say, why not?
Yeah.
I say, like, absolutely why not? Like, if Ciampa comes out next week, like, that's the other thing as well. Dragunov was pretty weak in the I'm the funny guy interchange with DIY. So if they have to do another week where he's, like, almost pranking Ciampa and bantering him off, I don't think that's the role for him. WWE used to do this where everybody had to do bad stand-up. You don't need to give it to everybody. We've learned that. So I wouldn't... Like, he says it himself. His catchphrase isn't, like, jokes can entertain, is it? That's not Dragunov's way.
Tonight, slapstick will be your entertainment.
Yeah, that's not his crack.
I mean, skipping ahead, but there was a bit of banter with DIY after this.
Well, yeah.
That was very good.
That was good.
It was former NXT Tag Team Champions for Axiom, that being Axiom. Nathan Fraser.
When I'm cleaning windows.
Who walk up to Gargano and Ciampa and Candice and Gargano, my neck. Saying, that's two US Open challenges you've screwed up. And your partner stole that opportunity. There's again a bit of me. Huh?
Yeah.
For Axiom, that's kind of an ongoing thing. And then...
might be some more on that for you in a second as well.
They hit him with the, that's what happens when you're a jackass. Oh my God, are they doing another Johnny Knoxville match?
No.
One of the greatest matches in the last decade.
Maybe, what if he considers himself the real Johnny Wrestling?
I'm not a jackass. I'm the jackass.
And he fights.
Well, giant mousetrap for Johnny Gargano, or whatever.
1, 2, 3, who cares? Did you hear
watch that Sami Zayn match again?
It's brilliant. It was magic, wasn't it? And you really didn't have to be there. We were, but you didn't have to be there. No. It was class. Everyone agreed on an otherwise mostly terrible night too.
Really happy time of my life. That.
Yeah, me too.
Was that Texas?
Dallas, Texas.
Oh, yeah.
Brisket City Jones.
Yeah, everyone was like, "Oh, night 2 was terrible." Not for me.
Big sandwiches.
Big sandwiches and partied in Dallas.
You could see the
pretty good from where I'm looking.
It was set up with a big high five gimmick, and it didn't matter. You just couldn't wait for them to get there. They hid it on the camera.
Yeah,
but like, big hand there.
You get to the big hand.
No, did you hear the little bit of interplay between Gargano and Ciampa before Fraxium came up? Like Johnny was like, "He's really good. He's a psycho, but he's really good." And I wondered if that's to force Tommaso Ciampa into becoming like the psycho killer version of himself. And when he loses, he just snaps on Johnny Gargano, and that's the end of DIY. Just batters him, something rotten.
Not again.
Also, was I picking up on some attire lore here?
Go on.
Because we were instructed by Corey Graves, who referenced the Backstreet Boys, hot young reference called, that Nathan Fraser was very boy banded up. White cargo pants, white vest, wife beater, as the Americans weirdly call it. We use the word vest. Waistcoat is what you think a vest is, and a vest is a vest. Who else was dressed in like very light cargo pants, very bright sneakers, and a white vest?
Yeah.
Ahead of his suspension. Were they trying to foreshadow, by the way, this is how dickhead's dressed now? And like, because Fraser lost. He's a jackass, just the same as John.
Yeah.
Like, it was a bit Richard Hammond being like, imagine losing to Ilya Dragunov like I did. Like
4.5 stars there.
Well, yeah. As opposed to the match, where it was kind of 1.5. I don't know. I just thought it was interesting that we're dressed
That's
like
a good point.
Drew Drew wearing that ahead of getting suspended for being just a piece of garbage is quite funny. The ultimate, like, I'm virtuous. Look at me. I'm decked out all in white. I'm the good guy. I'm the good guy. I want it that way. Yeah, just stuck out. They were both wearing the same stuff.
That's a great shout.
Could be nothing.
In amongst all this, by the way, I can't remember what his name is, but we're in the SmackDown GM's office. He's chatting to a ref. Sami Zayn barges in, saying, look at the size of Ray Phoenix, look at the size of Tor Tonga, and it's the MFTs. Please can I have his back? He's still not medically cleared, and he's like, I can't let you go out there. It's a liability sort of thing. Zayn's like, all right, can't let this keep going, though. R-Truth walks in. There's the tumbler. Go.
I need to tell you something in a minute.
He wants in the Last Time Is Now tournament. He wants to put his balls in Nick's hands. And Nick's like, I don't know who this Nick is, but he says, your name's already in there. And he says, I don't want my balls touching your hands anyway. Storms out the office.
We are above enjoying the sophomoric humour that was scripted between SmackDown GM and R-Truth. Mm-hmm. But you know who's not above sophomoric humour?
Who's that?
Children that are younger than sophomores. Because my 10-year-old son heard the ripple of laughter and looked at me and was waiting to see if I would laugh. And then he was doing that thing that kids do where they know, but they're trying to see what they can get away with. So it was like, why is that funny, Dad? And I was a bit tired from the weekend. And I don't know, but I think you know, don't you? And he's like, is he talking about his privates? And I was like, yes, he is. That's why it's funny. So it turns out, in terms of measuring like the temperature of like what scans as humour, there is a portion of the audience that are good to go for that stupid gag that they insist on doing with that. Because there had 2 of them. There was 2 of them, Jesus. And
what were the names going to be?
Yeah, exactly. Like,
or is that R-Truth and Ron Killings? Is that like law from earlier on this year?
Yeah, well, but then which one's in the tumbler?
Okay, quick.
Quick. because he's not fought John Cena this year.
Good point.
John Cena's fought Ron Killings and R-Truth, but he's not fought K-Quick yet. So we're get rowdy. There you go.
In amongst all this as well, we saw a recap of Jade Cargill destroying Tiffany Stratton at Saturday night's main event. And then it was time for her to celebrate. And I was a bit nervous, got to be honest here, because I thought, you've pitched it perfectly so far.
Yep.
Just run through Tiffany Stratton. As Sidge said on the Saturday night's main event review, going forward, and by the way, who they pitched to have her face as the first defense is perfect in that sort of, if that's how you're going to book her, we'll get to that. And I was like, I don't need to come out and have her do an each and every one of you doubted me and da-da-da-da-da and 5 minutes, and then here comes her challenger and a fairly obvious title defense. Didn't do any of that, though, did they? This was awesome.
Yep.
She marches down to the ring.
Why was this show bad? What are people watching?
She got her out the ass, and she just gets on the mic and says, you all saw what happened to Tiffany. That goes for every woman in the locker room. Make no mistake about it, I'm that bitch. She left, because what else does she need to say? And on the way back, bit of joy yakking with the GOAT, Charlotte Flair.
Yeah.
And Alexa has to be like, leave it, Charlotte. She's not worth it.
Was Charlotte Flair the first person that they did the face-off with when... You remember when she was brand hopping?
Maybe.
And she went to SmackDown.
Yeah, maybe, actually, when she was like, they were like, thanks for coming to this show. And she was like, well, I'm not committed to this show just yet. And like, well, I'll tell you what else we got here. Charlotte Flair.
Is it the first time since she's been in WWE that she's used that catchphrase as well?
Gotta be.
Well saved. Well saved. Couldn't have said more by saying less, could she? You're right as well. Perfect follow-up from the title. Proper enthusiasm, proper like lightning bolt through the veins stuff of what they captured with Jade Cargill when she beat Tiffany Stratton. And yeah, that continued with her in terms of what's up first as well.
Speaking of Jade, after this, we're backstage with Chelsea Green and the Secret Service. She's looking forward to becoming a double champion tonight when she regains her United States Championship. Here are Meechin and B-Fab, always there to move a storyline along, aren't they?
That's what they're there for.
She's like, not going to be longest reigning champion there, are you? That's Julia. She's just beaten it. Are you overlooking her? Meechin says, we already know how this match is going to go. Chelsea's like, yeah, you're right. I'm going to win and become the fourth Women's United States Champion. I'm going to be a double champion. Newsflash, dummies. Jade Cargill has stood behind her this whole time, by the way. Newsflash, dummies. I'm going to be the greatest SmackDown champion you've ever seen. Okay, he's like, sure about that.
She's behind me, isn't she?
Yeah. And for a split second, I went, are you pitching Chelsea Green to eventually dethrone Jade Cargill? Because if so, I'm here for it.
Yeah.
Not for a long time, though. Yeah. And Jay's like, keep talking. Chelsea's like, I think you look gorgeous, by the way. I just say. And she's like, yeah, you keep talking, and I'll stomp a hole through your chest. Chelsea's like, busy be me. Got to go. And they leave, and then Jade's like, move! to B-Fab and Meechin to get to the locker room. B-Fab, understandably, considering the way things normally go, waits till she's 3 steps away to talk about her.
Yep.
But Jade Cargill's got her listening ears switched on. And B-Fab's like, don't have to walk around and talk like that. And she's like, huh?
What now?
And B-Fab says, look, congrats and all that, but you don't need to act like that, do you? Jade's like, I do what I want when I want. What of it? You got a problem with that? Step up and do something about it. B-Fab's like, let's have a bare knuckle fight then. That's set up for next week. In my opinion, I know people might be like, B-Fab. I've got nothing against B-Fab. And I think, look, it could be B-Fab, it could be Albert Fire, it could be anybody. We all know that they're not winning the title of Jade Cargill. You're probably having the proper first defense is probably a rematch against Tiffany, like we said. But in the meantime, for someone to set up, as I keep saying, Sidge said, have title defenses for the time being that last 5 minutes or less. Yeah, have that with B-Fab. B-Fab like, I reckon I can go here. Oh, no, I've been destroyed.
I can't imagine anybody that has a problem with Jade Cargill and B-Fab unless they're trying to invent one, because it's exactly how you book a champion. There's a massive dearth of wrestlers booked to dominate and dominate and dominate and dominate, not least the ones that are best equipped to do it. We were just actually, before we came up to record, talking about, well, I don't know if you can call it gross misuse, because I can't pretend I know what the hell goes on Ring of Honor. But, like, it would be fine if, like, out of nowhere, AEW decided to, like, rehabilitate and reheat Satnam Singh.
Yes.
And he just went on this dominant. That sounds daft, but like you can buy anything if it's sold well enough to you in wrestling. Yeah. And this is not an AEW thing because you could say the same about Omos in WWE, right? So there you go. I'll use that example instead. Actually, Omos could go on a really brief tear and probably within a month be established as this monster. And let's say along the way he has to be, let's say you're doing it as a heel, so he has to be Shinsuke Nakamura or like Tala Tonga's opponent, Rey Fenix. And nobody's going to go, terrible booking. Nobody in the right mind, because the idea is that you've got to beat people to establish a giant, and then what you do is you create the first opportunity that giant might get felled, and then they don't, and it's a building thing. Jade Cargill's not really that different in terms of the pattern booking, and we've seen this work to great effect in AEW, and then partially work in WWE actually, but because it was in a tag team setting, there was always the banana skin that they could rely on. So, like, let's say it was Bianca's mistake, or Jade's inexperience, or the numbers.
None
of that stuff applies anymore. And Jade herself, the character, has even sort of acknowledged what might have been a flaw in her game, which was like being too nice.
Yes.
You know, the fact that she's waited to say, I'm that bitch, and to just patrol the locker room in the way she did in this segment. Like, this segment was great because it wasn't just, I don't just say it in the ring and then wait for the match graphic. I want to walk around and make everybody feel uncomfortable with me on top because I'm on top. Like, that is, again, it's character development. It's a vast improvement from somebody that just walks around hoping to become number one contender. That's the job of a babyface. If you're a heel, like, this is the way to go on. Chelsea Green does this, albeit in a different cowardly, clownish way. You know, you've got to, as a heel, you've got to establish exactly who, like, how you fit in the locker room and why you believe you should be the best. Because ultimately, you're a cheat, you're a scumbag, you don't follow the rules, and it's those people that should be rewarded. So your job as a villain is to sell people on why, in fact, no, I should be rewarded, and here's what I'm going to do to make that point clear. If I can't prove it through the good ways, I'll do it through the bad ways. And Jade Cargill here has done it by just being kind of like a nastier version of herself. Just her with, like, the volume turned way up, the anger and aggression and the forthrightness turned way up. Like, I see nothing but good things for this Jade Cargill character, and especially because the fantasy booking that you're doing is the proper end of the world, as we like to say. Like, Bianca Belair is like an end of the world match for this Jade Cargill character. She either loses, and it's like, somebody topples Jade Cargill, or she wins. And then what?
Who stops her now?
That really does feel like this thing that they've been able to keep in the background for 2 years and serve it up kind of whenever they want.
Like, I've said this before, and this is nothing against Tiffany Stratton, because regular listeners will know my adoration for her. But, like, the smoke cleared for the road to WrestleMania the moment Jade Cargill turned heel for me. Not even when she won the title. I was like, put the title on her, have her, just dominate. Bianca shows up in the Rumble or whatever it might be, or wins the Chamber, however you want to do it, sets up for the match for WrestleMania. In the interim, like, I watched this and I was like, great, smash B-Fab. Probably beat her up even more afterwards. Michin gets involved. Michin, who's like the weapons person, have a match against Michin with weapons. Jay Cole was like, weapons, I need weapons, mate. And me. Smashes her as well. Another defense. Tiffany Stratton, right, finally I'm back. I'm 100%. I've lost again. Like, it's really straightforward. To get it to 2026, no problem.
Yep. The idea, the sporting framework of the idea of the champion that ultimately pushed herself too far, it puts over the rigors of being champion and how difficult it is to hold that belt as long as she did, to go on a little bit of a losing streak. Again, like, observations from Hamflett's kids. Like, that's Tiffany losing 2 in a row now, isn't it? Because it comes right off the back of the Stephanie Vaquer match. I can't remember if it even is 2 in a row. There might have been one in between. But they made the point because it was the stuff that stuck out. So it scans enough as a losing streak that she has to work to turn that around. These things don't happen overnight in real sports, so you can make it so they don't in wrestling too. I like all of this. I like this division.
Yeah. Nia Jax versus Charlotte Flair with Alexa Bliss.
Division, in fact.
There was a bit early on, like, Jax has got the power game, Charlotte Flair. She sort of face-washed Flair with a hand, and I went, are we gonna get back into that?
Just like you remember.
Flair fought back though, drop kick, head scissors takedown. She did a bit of a kip up. This is why I like new Charlotte Flair. Did a bit of a kip up and sort of didn't mess it up.
No,
she landed it, but she sort of wobbled it, and she didn't do the whole, that was fine. She sort of went, whoa. Yeah. And I was like, you're having fun with this.
It's a bit Randy Orton, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like, what are you doing that with your face, though, Randy? Because you can just do whatever I want now.
Yeah.
Like,
she's just comfortable, isn't she, in there? And then she gets sent into the corner as we go to break. When we come back, Flair comes back with a diving crossbody, chops to Nia Jax, running clothesline to knock Nia Jax down, moonsault, 2 count. Flair wants a figure 8, but Jax just sit down power bombs her, but only gets a 2 count off that. So Jax drags Charlotte to the corner. She wants the Annihilator. Flair escapes, and Jax eats a diving elbow from the apron from Charlotte Flair. Nia Jax wants a Samoan drop, but suddenly that is countered by Charlotte Flair into a tornado DDT for the near fall. And then, all of a sudden, outside the ring.
Oh my God.
Who should appear? Do my eyes deceive me? Lash Legend, baby! Chokes the life out of Alexa Bliss.
Yeah.
This obviously distracts Charlotte Flair because that's her friend. And that allows Jax to hit the Annihilator and pin Charlotte Flair. Post-match, Lash Legend is clearly aligned with Nia Jax. I'll get to the chat that they had with Kathy Kelly backstage in a second. But yeah, Lash Legend being called up from NXT to the main roster. Shout out to Larry Robb. Who could have possibly called this?
Are we just shouting out Larry because he's a legend or because
He tagged me in it.
I was going to say because
on Friday night, Saturday morning, saying, I think Adam Wilbourn called this. I was like, oh, I did indeed, Larry.
Loved it. Just loved it. We'll talk about the angle because the match was ultimately a backdrop for the finish. Yeah, Lash Legends. This is the proper stuff. I'm going to say that Road Dogg handed a pencil ski back to Triple H ski here because there was a mimicking of a moment that ultimately changed Triple H's life and career. This was Chyna emerging from the crowd and choking out Marlena. And the reason Marlena was chosen was because there was nobody better served to illustrate the size difference between like Chyna and the women of the division. There was many of them, pretty much Sonny, Sable, and Marlena, take your pick. But that was the point, right? Alexa Bliss, diminutive as she is, in a way that doesn't matter when the bell rings, but that's her aesthetic. And just Lash Legend monster in her from behind. Fantastic.
Yeah.
What a immediately out the gate visual. Dangerous. Like, if you've never seen her before, which she's tiptoed around the main roster, but really...
They had a tag match. I was saying with Andy on the news, they had the Jakara Jackson
one,
tag match against Charlotte and Alexa.
But ultimately...
Another reason for her to be like, oh, well, maybe Jakara was my sort of weak link. Who can I align with? Oh, the biggest woman in the division.
Not just the biggest woman, as they point out, somebody who kind of kicked each other's ass.
Yeah.
On NXT.
Oh my God.
Even Sidge liked their NXT match.
Good law, good synergy, really interesting call-up. Yet another addition to a division that I think has been really well booked this year. A feeling that it gave me that made me want Charlotte and Alexa to retain against some characters we're going to mention shortly. So they've established a new team who becomes such an interesting threat to me right out the gate that I no longer want a title change happening in a completely different match on a completely different show because I'm kind of interested in this as well. Like, again, I'm trying not to go back to there. They said, what about this precious SmackDown? But I would classify all of this as like home run booking. And even if you don't agree, like
preaching to the choir.
Well, yeah, I know. Like, if you don't agree, let me know on Cameo or hamflettx@gmail.com, I think. But regardless, like, this is how you introduce people.
Yeah.
And I've been like calling for a bit of fresh blood from NXT on the main roster in a while. This is how I want them arriving. Loved it.
And completely justified later when we had this Kathy Kelly backstage interview. And Kathy understandably says, how's this all come about? And Nia's like, do you have your glasses on, dickhead? Charlotte and Alexa have been telling me that I needed a friend. Jokes on them because I've already got one. Mm-hmm. I fought Lash Legend in NXT.
Got 104 friends.
She's a formidable adversary, true badass, and that's why she's my friend. Can you say that your friend Charlotte and Alexa is a former NCAA world record holder? Lash calls herself the one and only bougie bully. Yeah. And after what she did to Alexa Bliss, it's clearly everything she says she is. And they're going to the very top. Tonight is only the beginning, and they walk off. And I, again, feel like a proud father.
Tremendous. Yeah, into them immediately. She wore the the kind of maroon...
Chat show, please.
Yes. Like maroony velour thing. The two of them were like already matching. Night one. We are good to go with Nia Jax and Lash Legend. Monster in teams. Love it.
In amongst all this, I should mention, there was a video package for the, what's it called? Last Time Is Now tournament. and the John Cena stuff. Tumblr, Nick, SmackDown GM, can't remember what his name is.
Me neither. All over the show, though.
He says, ladies and gentlemen, it's my honor and my privilege to draw the next 2 matchups. The names have been circulated. Fate has spoken. Once-in-a-lifetime career-changing opportunities on the line. First match between 2 of the most decorated WWE superstars of all time. 2-time Grand Slam champion, The Miz. Hoorah! Takes on main event, Jey Uso. Eat.
I mean, it's an ugly-ass match, that one.
Not for me, I like it.
But, yeah. I mean, I know. I love the guy. Wore his shirt proudly many a time this year, but I kind of rooting for El Miski in this one, especially after the promo we cut later on. I'm never not fighting for the old Miz. I think I've nailed this 2026 year of the Miz bollocks as well.
It's the year of the Miz.
I really think I'm onto something with this. From a tiny little clue 3 or 4 weeks ago, now I'm starting to build a case.
Yeah. The other match will be the megastar L.A. Knight versus the name in my hand, and he's got his balls in his hand, a ball in his hand. He opens it up and he says, "You know what? I want to keep this one a surprise." No, come back.
I mean, you didn't want to say his name, did it?
Huh?
You didn't want to say his name.
No, he didn't say his name.
Yeah, he didn't want to say his name.
Who do you think it could be then?
What, in case he appears?
What?
I believe it's Joe Hendry.
No way.
That's what I think.
Don't say it now. Save it for the preview. It's going to be another question.
Sorry, I'll just say it again. Yeah. Well, this time it gives him an opportunity to pop up from one of the desks, doesn't it? And briefed him on it. You know they have to brief him on it if he's going to appear somewhere. You can't just do that by magic.
But he's busy with Thea Hale.
No, if you can do that by magic, he needs to stop and tell the papers. Because, we need this information. Like NASA, yep.
I have a question. If you say Joe's name, is he obliged to appear? Or does it call? What I mean is because presumably a lot of people, it's like we talk about him, we say Joe Hendry and he doesn't appear. But is it like as a pop-up appear in Joe Hendry's life that says Wilbourn said your name, do you want to pop over to Gateshead? Or is it like he comes over and he's like, I've got to get back. I don't actually want to appear here. Because if that's the case, what I'm saying is, if that is the case, and I'm LA Knight, why don't you just get your mate who's in the crowd or in a completely different country to say his name and get counted out?
I know what you're thinking. And having given it several seconds of thought, I think what Joe's probably done, since this is really taken off for him, and he's very mindful of a lot of people are saying his name and it's costing him an arm and a leg in petrol and airfare to get these places.
Oh, I'm thinking teleport, not teleport.
Well, this is it. If he's got that skill, he needs to be updating the authorities because we need that power shared. I'm assuming that he's just been making the towns. Maybe it's
Tele-wrestler, teleport. Is that anything?
Everything's something. Is it a case of now, like when Homer becomes Krusty, so that he's got a series of local Krusties? So could we have a bunch of local wrestlers that wear
Ho-gendry?
Ho-gendries, right? There's a bunch of Ho-gendries in any given town that have got the blue shirt, the white trousers, the trainers.
Thea Hale could be part of this.
Side job. Thea Hale's already become one. He's just got a series of Ho-gendries, and the idea is that you kind of everybody. If you wear glasses, take them off. If you've got 20/20 vision, I don't know, throw a drink in your face for a second. It's me, Joe Hendry.
Or is it like The Prestige? You seen The Prestige?
No.
It's great. You should watch it.
Is that the film about magicians?
Yeah.
I think I've seen I started watching it at play and I was like, no, and I turned it off. I watched something else.
Hugh Jackman, Christian Bale, David Bowie. He's in it as well.
Jesse Eisenberg.
Not as far as no, that's the one I told you about. Right, I told you about this. I got excited about this because I was like, I need to tell someone. And I immediately walked into him in the Gateshead interchange. So Now You See Me. That's the first film. Yeah. That's about magicians. Obviously, the famous phrase is Now You See Me, and then we all know what comes after. Second film. What are we going to call that? Now You See Me 2. What? And then the third one they've called Now You See Me, Now You Don't. What? Sorry, I don't understand. Why is that? How is it not Now You See Me 3 or what?
Is there not an issue? I don't know. I'm coming at this very ill-informed, which I know is unusual for SmackDown coverage. But is there not an issue with the Now You See Me franchise? Again, stop me if I'm wrong, where they don't, it's like wrestling. They don't, you watch it and they're kind of telling you from the beginning it's work. It's magic. We've had a masked magician. Yeah. You're not 6. It's a work. Magic's a work. You can't teleport Joe Hendry, right? And then, so they'll be like, and we're using all these tricks, and like, this is our guy, and he's got like, he can count cards, and like, this is the master of disguise, and she's a quick change person. So they've all got like different
magical skills. Like Isla Fisher, Woody Harrelson.
Yeah, so it's like an Ocean's 11, but they all use their different magic skills. But then at some point in the movie, the actual difference maker is that somebody can do shoot magic.
Yeah, oh yeah, they are like it's gone from like, oh, have they done that? Have they managed to change this card around to? Excuse me. So what's happened there?
Well, that can't
they're
work.
part of like the Illuminati or something at the end, and Mark Ruffalo's like, good job, I'm part of this now, eh?
Well,
what?
In which case, from the very beginning, just do like Alakazam, fix that. Like, oh no, what have you done? I cast a spell, or the police fall over, or something. Whatever they're trying to evade. Like,
I think it's Michael Caine and Morgan Freeman are involved in it or something.
Yeah,
and they're like, show you what you do here is magic in prison or something.
It's like there's a point in the butterfly effect where the people that made the film forget what that actually means, and something occurs that has nothing to do with the original butterfly effect. It's like, well, that wouldn't have made a difference. Like, you broke the chain. You fundamentally ruined the whole film.
Yeah. So, is that anything? Oh yeah.
How do we
So
get onto that?
he's cloned. He clones.
Yeah,
Just cloned.
Ho Gendry's. I think the real one might work LA Knight.
Okay.
But we can expect to see a Ho Gendry on NXT.
Yes.
Definitely a couple of them in TNA, probably. I don't know. Like, based on how, like, WWE typically run a Madison Square Garden house show on Boxing Day, he might need to send, like, a Ho Gendry home for Christmas. Like, he's going to be busy boy.
Driving home for Christmas.
That song, Chris Rea wrote that, not about going up the A19, but in fact about taking one of the Joe Hendry doppelgangers back to his parents in Scotland. I can't wait to see his lookalike faces.
Just no connection to the family. They're like, oh, do you like that present, Joe? Obviously, because it's like a callback.
Okay, thanks, Mum and Dad. Anyway, bye, Chris Rea. They're like, something's changed about you.
I didn't think you like Brussels sprouts. Oh, ha!
His mouth full of them, like the Vicar of Dibley.
Thought you were allergic to them.
Oh no, I'm swollen. It's just because your mouth is full of sprouts. We saw you put them in there.
I hate sprouts, man.
I like sprouts.
The worst. I think they're like top 5 least favorite things in my entire life. Sprouts, yeah.
It's weird. He's giving me all this gubbins for like not liking stuff. I would say that's like the kind of like the ultimate like sort of 5-year-old kid thing that most people.
Are you still like when I was like 30s, early 30s, and I would if I was going because we host now obviously with Aaron Eric, but like if just for ease of it we were traveling around to see all the family and friends and what have you. My mum, I'm in my 30s. I think I've settled my palate pretty much by the time I'm halfway dead, hopefully at least.
Take me the other way.
Yeah,
Fingers crossed longer.
Wrap it up. I think I've made the decision on Brussels sprouts. And my mum would still be like, try it. You try it. I'm going to serve you food in my house.
Sprouts is
one. Like melon. Who don't like melon?
I mean, I don't love melon. It's melon. I find melon
greater than mango, though.
Ooh, I think
mango.
mango.
You get the packs.
No, I think mango's got some personality. I think
watermelon is the go.
I don't know.
I love me some watermelon.
I just think it's just.
I have that as like my 4th breakfast before an all-inclusive holiday.
Is it not like
only after some alcohol?
Is it not the celery of fruit? Is it not like I like celery, by the way? So this is not heavy criticism, but it's not just like, well, yep, that happened in my body, and like now I've just lost a pound or something.
Yeah,
like which is good, I guess. Maybe you're right. Yeah, melon is just you could possibly care. Like, you know what? I don't know if this is actually a phrase or I've heard this somewhere else.
Melon balls.
Close. Like one word is like so exciting to me, but melon is such a dilute. It's a bit like Roman numerals. You know, when like 10 is IX because the 1 is taken away, X is 10, and the 1 is taken away.
9.
From, yeah. The I is taken away from the X, so it makes it 9. When I see melon buffet, like the excitement of a buffet, it's 1 less because it's a melon buffet.
I still get angry when, completely off topic this, when we drive past a thing that says nursery, and then it's for plants. What's all that about then?
What is that about?
How's that work?
You've got a garden centre.
Yeah.
That's like everybody knows what a garden centre can only be one thing.
Is it, like a daffodil in a creche or something? What's going on there? I mean, what are they doing?
You need to be keeping this quiet for your next Type 5 in Edinburgh because that is the sort of observational wit that people are going to
Also,
love.
why have they got scallops, and escallops? Can we not have different words for these different things?
What is the deal with airline food?
I don't get it. It confuses me.
I don't know what any 3 of those
scallops, scallops, escallops.
Put it in your pocket.
One's a potato, one's a fish, and one's like you can have like I think chicken escalopes or something.
Ah, right now it's
Can we not use different words?
one of them is you can see at the chippy, can't you?
Scallops.
Scallops are at the chippy, I think.
Is that the fish?
I think so.
Yeah.
So what's he say? Scallop is?
Scallop. It's like potato stuff, isn't it?
What kind of potato? Well, I think
I've never taken the risk.
Have we ever ranked potatoes in the SmackDown coverage before? I think we must have done. It feels
Chips number one, obviously.
Yeah, well, is it like
chips 1, 2, and 3, if anything.
Because like there's chips, there's like roasties, there's mash. It's like divides families.
Yeah.
But like, what's scallop?
I might have made that up. Hang on. Escape room. You done an escape room before?
My wife loves them, but I can't stand them.
Yeah, chicken escalope recipe.
Oh.
It's a thin, boneless slice of chicken breast that has been pounded. Well, maybe I misjudged it, actually. I quite like that.
I'm with you, actually. Why would
scallop, huh? Scallop difference. There you go. One's shellfish, one's deep fried potato dish. But I'm confused as to what's going on.
I mean, it's a bit like, you could apply this to a lot of things, as I desperately, frantically think. You could have chips, chops, and chaps. one's
get some trousers. What?
One's a potato, one's a meat, one's a person.
I think for my Sunday roast, I've got some assless trousers. What am I supposed to do with this?
I was thinking of men. I didn't even think about trousers.
yeah.
But even see how it's confusing.
So yeah, you're happy to see who the surprise is for.
Yeah, I can't wait. Yeah, next week, be there.
We spent more time talking about that than they spent on the United States Championship match between Julia and Chelsea Green, which, to be fair...
Now I can see why people might have got really wound up.
Yeah, but I was also like, you know what? This is just abandon it.
Busted flush.
Yeah,
take 90 seconds and forget that ever happened.
It's exactly what they did.
Yep.
Like, you got the GOAT,
Oh my god.
Ethan Page there. He's at ringside. Triple A exciting job.
I like Tim Maurice.
He's class, isn't he? Get him in the vision. Go on.
No, thank you.
He's there. He's banter. He's class. He's having literally, genuinely, I think his best year ever.
Yeah, I would agree.
He's there. Chelsea Green's like, hard-hitting, Japanese superstar Julia. How should I start this match? Slap her in the face, probably. Gets battered, headbutt, vertical suplex. She sort of hits the Arriva, how do they call it? Arriva Dirty knee or Arriva Dirty knee?
Arriva Dirty. No, it's an Arriva Dirty knee, but I like Arriva Dirty knee.
Yeah. But she didn't have a run-up, did she? She just sort of hit it.
I mean, either way, it got no pop. Like, the proof is in the pudding, pal.
Because I saw it happen, and Corey Graves said, Arriva Dirty knee, or whatever, right? And I went, was it? But then I was like, here we go. Like, I was genuinely going, here we go. Here's 10 minutes for Keanu James to get involved, and Julia retains, and we move on to something else. And then they just went, you can see them playing, who cares? No one cares about all this. The rumor is now, by the way, because we talked about this on the news, that they're put Julia as a main event title concern.
Yep.
Which, just start again with a.
Yep.
It's fallen.
Badly booked.
None of this has worked.
Said it a lot, yeah.
Keanu James got involved when Chelsea Green was resting against the ropes and getting her head kicked in. She slaps Chelsea Green. Alba Fire, Mint, comes flying in with a super kick. And then in all the chaos, Chelsea Green rolls up Julia, puts her feet on the ropes, 1, 2, 3. And then she celebrates with Ethan Page.
Gets her on the shoulders, all the baller belts. Fine. Good. Start again with Julia.
It's not worked. Every other person you've given this US title to hasn't worked. Love Zelina Vega, love Julia. Not worked. Put it back on Chelsea.
There is something
for the rest of the year.
Oddly refreshing about an acknowledgement of a failure.
Yeah.
And returning to something that is it's not just a safe bet in Chelsea Green, it's a fun one as well. This was if you've gone away and you've forgotten your toothbrush, but you use mouthwash. You're not going to have the cleanest of teeth from brushing. However, your breath's going to be fresh and you're going to have that little bit of, maybe this is going to be all right, actually.
Yeah.
Julia, for about 4 months,
She had 2 title defenses, Andy was telling me.
It was unbrushed teeth with a morning breath of a run. And then all of a sudden, I've still not found a toothbrush, but a bit of mouthwash, we go again. Maybe go and buy a new toothbrush. It's gross. 6 months is too long. Don't like people that don't brush their teeth. Find that weird.
Yeah.
Brush teeth. But I have absolutely no problem with this. It was the right kind of banana skin defeat. And Chelsea Green and Ethan Page were patter at the ace.
They're awesome. And I said to Andy on the news, and he wasn't a big fan of this, do a version of the United States Open Challenge with Chelsea Green, but a shenanigan version.
I like that. And as well, like a lot of people will be like, oh, what have they done with Julia? I've been campaigning about this all year. Those people are liars.
Yeah.
They're not watching SmackDown. They're not watching WWE, probably. They're certainly not asked what Julia's up to, because the second that she's stepped over that white line and joined WWE, they've immediately gone, oh, well, Julia's dead. She's joined the Fed, whatever. And then, like, the NXT start wasn't the best. And then, by accident, the comparison became between her and Stephanie Vaquer. Then she got called up properly with Roxanne Perez, and there's another unfavourable comparison. She gets put with Kiana James as a heater, but the booking of that act is so bad, and there's no attempt to establish any kind of chemistry or bond, that it now looks like she's kind of carrying about 3 failures around, like in a year in WWE.
Reset.
Like,
hard reset.
This is an opportunity. It might fail again, right? This might be the beginning of the end, and she might be released, and then we might look back and be like, you know what, that was the point where you kind of the company lost faith. But I look at it the total other way around. I see this as they could lift her out of this. You could kind of pretend that this entire year never happened. As you say, you could get a hot over the winter and make her like a real danger in the Rumble, even if she doesn't win. Somebody that Jade Cargill needs to be looking over her shoulder for. I would ixnay this Kiana James thing while you're at it too.
Yeah.
It's failed. Start again.
Exactly. But, you know, sometimes you're in a car and you're like, or you see someone in a car and they're like, oh, God. And you're like, oh, God, kicking into gear. Boom! That's what happened next on SmackDown, because here come the MFTs, baby.
Yeah!
Solo's there, gives them the props for last week, but says, look, it's not enough. Sami Zayn's still walking around. White Six have got something that belongs to our family. And I was like, oh, yeah, they're the tag champs. Oh, I forgot about that. Ilya Dragunov's got something that belongs to this family. Tama's going to bring back the United States Championship.
Oh my God.
Please.
Yeah.
And now the big man Talatonga is going to go out there and make a statement and smash Rey Fenix.
They were all selling it.
It proper peaked, didn't it, on the audio as well. He's going to show everyone not to disrespect their family again, and they leave. And here come the White Six. And Eric Rowan says, not yet. What?
The White Six wanted to get them. And they're like, no, not yet. Solo Sikoa in this promo put across for the thickos at the back that don't get it. That's right. If you don't get the MFTs, you're a thicko. I said it.
Yeah.
Some would argue the complete actual opposite, and they would use us two as examples. The mid-card wrestling mid-cards need MFTs. And SmackDown's got one. They've got the originals, in fact. There are a series of wrestlers who fundamentally are all better together because they're baddies, with a bizarrely charismatic leader in the sort of way where, like, I don't want to make the loftiest comparisons of your Bobby Heenans and your Paul Heymans with the Heenan family and the Dangerous Alliance, but he does carry that weight of a manager that you cannot, for any reason, fathom why these monsters would help him. Right? He's this stupid asshole with the dumb suit, right? But, like, they have accepted in their life to get the faces painted and be like, right, what does Solo want today? Because we're doing that. I love that, right? Straight away.
We love their entrance as well, don't we?
Oh, God, their entrance in a second. But what does he do? He's like, right, there's 5 of us, Jesus. And we want that, and we want that, and we want that. And I've kind of laid these things out from the very beginning as to why, and to where we went wrong, and to how this will not happen again. And we're going to do it with a reign of terror, which so far, so good. And the one thing we don't need to worry about is the consequences of our actions. And then what do you get later on tonight? And what do you get teased for down the line by when the creepy waiters walk out from the back? There are feuds. There are wrestlers. There's probably, the MFTs are probably justifying like 15 jobs at the moment in an act.
Yeah.
And that's not even including the production staff we don't know the name of that came up with this incredible visual of them arriving on the scene. I absolutely love them. I love them. Solo Sikoa I continue to find to be a delight in this role.
Yes.
But all of them, they're doing that thing. I keep saying this. They're doing that thing when the bloodline started to click for me, where I kind of had to like watch the segment a couple of times because I need to examine the individual faces. All right, Tamatonga, me too. But he, like I say, even Tonga Loa, he looks like he knows he should be there. Like it's just. Have you seen Jesse Mateo's little face? He's mint, man. Like, honestly,
This is a no MFT slander zone.
Who are we getting next, boys? I love them.
Before we get to the match, though, we see Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss in the trainer's room.
Right,
Alexa's like, ow, my neck, I got choked up by Lash Legend.
Doctor, some ice.
The doctor's like, go and pop out and get you some ice. Be back in a sec. And Charlotte's like, sorry about what happened. And then we see her hand. And you're like, oh, there you go. There's a man in a doctor's jacket. He wasn't in a doctor's jacket before, but he is. And then as Michael Sidgwick, not me, I didn't say this. A lot of people are saying this. Akin to the cinematic classic The Dark Knight, sort of Christopher Nolan-esque, Alexa Bliss turns around and to say, what's up, Doc? And the doctor pulls down the surgical mask to reveal, oh, it's Asuka. And she missed both of them. And I think, was this the point where Cole went, it's the Kabuki Doctors?
Yeah, you got to take the piss out of these segments when they're as bad as this.
Just have fun with it. People are like, oh, shut up, cheer up, for Christ's sake.
You got to laugh, man. Like
Kabuki Doctors. What about next week? They have a gimmick after they've lost the title match on Raw tonight. They have a gimmick and they're like, oh, bloody, I'm a bit anxious now for anything like Kabuki Warriors, more like Kabuki Warriors, right? What about that? And they keep like, and they're like,
nails going everywhere. Pitch meeting every week on what to follow the word Kabuki.
Yeah.
No, I definitely want them to come out in scrubs on Raw tonight.
I can't do this all on my own. No, I know. I'm no Superman. I'm no Superman.
They're bringing back that for some sort of special, I think.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, I know. It's not going to work, is it?
Malcolm in the Middle, though.
Is that coming back?
Yeah.
Oh, excellent. I didn't love Scrubs the first time. I rewatched the whole thing when in a period of real sadness on Series Link on E4. I think it was on Implied. And it annoyed me more than I liked it.
Yeah.
Had its moments. But it annoyed me more than and god damn it, did it get in love with doing like a maudlin one. And you knew within the first 5 minutes, it's like a friggin' Lisa episode of The Simpsons. Like, oh, Christ, it's a serious one. Oh, they work in a hospital, people die in hospitals, boring. Like, why can't he do a crazy fantasy thing where his eyes turn into hearts? Like, a piano drops on the hospital. Dr. Kelso's got clown shoes. That was my Scrubs. No, the bit I want to take the piss out of, because I'm sure everybody's taking the piss out of all of it, is how the missed, right? So she hits Alexa with the majority of it, and then realizes she's supposed to miss them both. So she kind of, sorry about this and you and the microphone. She kind of turns to Charlotte in an attempt to like spray what's left, but there is none. So she's going like that. Really unbecoming. They like the Kabuki Warriors, the Kabuki Doctors dance off screen. The camera's like, I'm going to film this actually. And like, hey, here we go, yeah, like there. So they leave shot. And the entire time, Alexa and Charlotte have got to sell this as if it's dead serious, while like holding their eyes, revealing all the mists on their chin and cheeks, and they're kind of trying to like move it. You bastard! It will stop rubbing in your eyes, then it won't hurt. It was a mess. I loved it.
Great, just come on.
It was total bollocks.
Seven so serious, Jesus Christ!
Why so serious? It's all tied together.
It's funny that bit in the dark like that, isn't it? Like he's put spoilers. But what are we doing? Come on, Maggie General's dead. He's had half of his face burnt off, and he's like, oh. What's I thank God the nurse is here. The nurse with green hair.
I'll take it from here, guys.
Take the mask off. Must be not that contagious. Oh my God, it's the joke.
This is the one thing we didn't want to happen.
Oh dear.
Yeah, I like this. This is the total bollocks.
Tula Tonga versus Rey Fenix.
Yeah.
Outcome of the MFTs. Best entrance in wrestling.
Oh my God, you need to see this gang. So the white face paint is now luminous. And they arrive, because basically what happens is Rey Fenix music takes about 15 minutes to get started, so you're bored rigid by the time he's made it to the ring. He's also, bless him, you've seen that he's like tried to add a little dance to his entrance.
I don't know, skip past it all.
Well, he's obviously
I'll get to the MFTs bit.
I'll show you when we get back to the desk, right? It's obvious that he's like, well, it's worked for Penta, so I guess I best start dancing. And he kind of goes like, what? Going over this side, going over this side, that time. And it's like, oh man, come on. It's so, like, I feel so sorry for him. I don't know if he's like improv'd it or like Triple H has done one of his like really clever brain genius videos where he's like,
Next week on Unreal. What if you go over here and do a high five, then you go over here and do a high five?
Bless him, right? It's really dull. So you're like, God, can we just get taller at her and kick his ass? And then like you get all the 4 luminous faces, right? And they look genuinely intimidating. It's really well lit. You like the floating heads, but it's all the different sizes and the statues and the little individual details.
Well, wait a second, Michael. Isn't there 5 members of the...
There is, you see. And it's the whole point is like, these are the danger, but like, who's controlling the monsters? And then like through the middle, Solo Sikoa. I just go walk through it. It's like, let's go and kick some ass. So they're all like, they've never looked more intimidating. But then, whoa, they get stopped by the Motor City Machine Guns and Nakamura, who've got purpose for the first time in a year. Why is that? Because of the MFTs. And that leaves Tola and Solo on their own.
Love that, because I was like, oh no, they've isolated him now. And then I was like, no, Solo's still all good to sit ringside. We're all good, baby. We're still in business.
Yeah.
Phoenix is like quick and, you know.
Can't get him off his feet, can you?
Yeah, flying around all over the place. But Tula Tonga's massive. So he just gets a standing flapjack on Ray Phoenix and kicks him off the apron and then chucks him into the barricade. And I was like, I'm going nowhere, pal. Yeah. Don't you worry. I will not be going. When this show returns from the break, I will be seated.
Do you know who else went nowhere and was seated? Was Solo Sikoa, who decided he couldn't be asked to patrol the ring anymore and just pulled up a chair at ringside. So when like you were instructed to watch Solo, the camera just went straight to him, and he was like, and then the camera was going, "Now Solo," and he'd be like, "Yep," kicking his ass like that.
So he come back and it's like, okay, time for the babyface to come back. Not against Tula Tonga, it's not. Springboard, piss off you. Solo's loving this at this point. Beats up Phoenix in the corner with elbow strikes, does Tula Tonga. Phoenix dodges something from Tula, some running attack. Hits a feint kick to the big man. Tries a sunset flip. Tula Tonga's like, I don't think so, pal. Huge uppercut. But he dodges the big boot from Tula Tonga. Hits an amazing kick where he basically runs along the top rope and kicks Tula. I've never seen it before. Kicks Tula Tonga in the face. Top rope crossbody for a 2 count at best. Ray Phoenix hit a super kick to Tula, who's kneeling now. Went for a dive. Tula was like, enough of this. Chokeslam, 1, 2, 3. Post-match, Tula was like, do that again. That was class. And I was like, yeah, good point it was. But then here comes Sami Zayn with a chair to chase him off.
Love it. This was interesting as well. Yeah, the match was exactly how it should have been structured. Ray Phoenix tries and tries and tries, almost cuts down the tree, falls just short in the end. Tula Tonga doesn't do a lot, but moves around Ray Phoenix.
MF trees.
MF trees, excellent. Moves around.
Do you know what they say when they do that pose as part of their entrance?
What's that?
MF cheese. Say, get your picture.
It's not a thing I don't love about this act.
Yeah.
And all the fun we get to have with it. Yeah, Tula has a good night, ultimately just kind of moving around Ray Phoenix's movement. They get what they need out of this. He's not great.
There was a bit of me, but there was a bit of me that was like, get that flippy twat.
Like, it was in the beatdown the week before when he chopped him out the sky. Yeah, I was like, I want some more of that, thank you. Yeah. Like, there is and I mean this in the most complimentary sense and not in any way negatively, because some people would think this is a very negative comparison. I got a lot of great Khali-based feelings for Tula Tonga, and he's not quite as big and he's not quite as imposing, but he's marginally better in the ring.
Yeah.
So I think the compromise is there. I think you can get a Khali.
Got a good yell like Khali.
Yeah, exactly. Tree slam, solid, big chop. I want some chops right down the middle of the head. I think that's what we need next. But when Sami comes
squeeze thing that he used to do.
Yeah, when Sami comes out with a chair, I like that kind of like Tula Tonga spots what's going on and has to like be the one to hold Solo back, even though Solo's probably not going to do anything. He's like, get him, but he's like, I want some of him. And Tola's like, not tonight, mate. I'm knackered. Right there. And then they back off. Yeah. And obviously the other 3 were taken care of because of the other baby faces that they've given a purpose to.
It's because the internet favourite didn't win. It's a big guy that we like.
Oh, is that what's happening? Is that a theme? Like, Julia lost. And Ray Phoenix lost.
Yeah.
You won't get that in AEW. No, you won't get audiences either, so why don't you call it a draw?
Speaking of people who are a draw, The Miz is backstage with Kathy Kelly. She's like, still got problems with Carmelo Hayes, have you? And I was like, oh, they're still going. It's good stuff. Miz says, it's not payback. It's just reminding everyone exactly what I'm capable of. I'm a badass baby. Everything I touch becomes important, just like the IC title. I made it prestigious. Talk shows made a must-see. I made Carmelo Hayes relevant. I beat John Cena in the main event of WrestleMania. That should make our match inevitable. But we're going to open the door to NXT stars and outsiders. It's like they bloody try out for the Performance Center, this. There shouldn't be a tournament. I should be the guy facing him, basically. Now I've got to fight Jey Uso. Highlights fade Jey Uso. Everything you do is supposedly a highlight. That fade, legacies don't. That's where I am. I'm going to win the tournament. The critics are going to cry. The internet's going to whine, but the headline will read, The Miz beat John Cena in the main event at WrestleMania and ended John Cena's career because The Miz is awesome.
Hoorah!
Hoorah!
I'd buy that newspaper if I saw it in the newsstands with that long headline. It'd have to be a broadsheet, but I'd buy it. Love The Miz. Love The Miz, man. Can't wait for the year of The Miz. 2026, let's go. Every single PLE insists he's going to win the big match and just fails. I'm going to win the Rumble. I'm going to win Elimination Chamber. I will main event. Oh, the main event's taken. Oh, yeah, I will host WrestleMania.
Well, it's back in September. It's way off, but I can get there.
Year of The Miz. Hoorah! Every week a video. I came to play. I came to replay. And they show one of his best moments. I cannot wait. It's happening.
Yeah. Main event time. Cody Rhodes versus Aleister Black with Zelina. Rhodes early on lifts Black up for a standing suplex. Tries for a drop-down uppercut. I like this sequence. Black just caught him with an armbar out of nowhere. Rhodes goes for a disaster kick, but gets kicked by Aleister Black. That takes us to a break. When we come back, Rhodes hits a snap power slam, gets 2 from that. Kick to Black's head. That gets another 2. Another forearm, another power slam. And disaster kick gets 2. He wants the crossroads, but Black counters and just nails him with a kick to the face. There's a back and forth with a back suplex in there, getting countered by Cody. Cody cutter for a near fall. He wants the Dusty style strikes, but as a knee and a jackknife suplex from Aleister Black. He wants the Black Mass. That gets countered. Cody wants the crossroads. That gets countered, and they basically both kick each other down. And just as they're recovering, here comes Drew McIntyre. Who does he claymore? Does he does he claymore Aleister Black?
No, dear, that's wrong.
Oh, he must claymore Cody Rhodes.
No, dear, that's wrong.
Poor referee. Bingo! Head off, right? He comes flying in, and Aleister Black turns around and is like, "Aye, fair enough. should we both beat up Cody Rhodes?" And they do. But then who comes out to make the save? And in amongst all this chaos, Damian Priest runs down, punches Black, lays out Drew. There's a flatliner to Drew and a pancake to Aleister Black. Cody recovers and goes after Drew. Priest goes after Black by the announce table. Zelina jumps off the table onto his back and he just chucks her into the timekeeper's area. He's like, sorry about that, but and that allows Aleister Black to go after the eye of Damian Priest, scarper with his misses. Cody hits the Cody cutter. Drew falls to the outside. Out comes the SmackDown GM, can't remember what his name is, to yell that he's had enough of Drew's shenanigans. Give you an inch, you take a mile. I'm officially suspending Drew McIntyre as of right now. And we go off the air with McIntyre shouting that his back was against the wall and the conspiracy and all that.
Yeah. The match, not my cup of tea and seemingly not that much of a thing for the live crowd. Like Cody matches always get something and this didn't get much. Is that a comment on Aleister Black getting put into that spot too soon? Is it a comment on the Aleister Black character full stop? Is it, again, maybe an agenda I'm starting to build here that the time is starting to draw near that we bring Cody's babyface run to an end, albeit slow play it? I don't know. It could be none of those things. It could just be an off week, but it wasn't very hot. The announcement of it was hotter. Cody's promo was hotter than any of this match stuff. So that's, not sure what to think about that. And it does kind of follow on from a kind of middling series with Drew. And that's why my feelings on all of this at the end are mixed, because SmackDown GM, I can't remember his name, may well have suspended Drew McIntyre, but obviously the idea is that he'll probably come back and there'll be one last match and Cody will say, look, I'll have the match, or it can be unsanctioned or whatever.
Yeah.
If he doesn't win the title, then should we say that he's got to leave SmackDown forever or whatever, something like that. And they're trying to get stakes out of this one last match. Fine. Again, you got to book stuff. You got to try and tell a story. My argument would be, is this the one to tell? When he said he was done with Drew McIntyre, even though that was the big 100-foot high sign that he wasn't, I was thinking, I wish you were. I've sort of had my fill. I wouldn't mind seeing you go on to the next thing.
Get involved in war games or something,
So it's really tough to shake off the feeling that this is just another filler month with Cody and Drew rather than the next thing along. But in terms of how they constructed it, I quite liked it. So
I'd love to Claymore to a ref. It's funny.
I really liked how Drew was dressed. I really did. Like, popped me a bit that he was coming out looking like that instead of his like leather kilt and his all brooding stuff. And the Claymore the ref was funny.
But as I said, a divisive episode. Do let us know your thoughts on SmackDown, either in the comments section below or on X at WhatCulture WWE. Well, actually, they can follow, well, sort of follow both of us. You can follow Michael Hamflett on Cameo at
Michael Hamflett.
You can follow me on X at, and on Cameo actually, Adam Wilbourn. Follow us all at WhatCulture WWE, as I said. Make sure you subscribe to WhatCulture Wrestling, wherever you get your podcast from, for daily wrestling podcasts. The Raw preview is available right now. We'll be back with a Q&A later on today. But for now, this has been the SmackDown review. My thanks to Hamflett. Thank you for joining us, and we will see you soon.